Good evening. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the January 13th, 2026 Verona Borough Council Business Meeting. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Roll call, please, Mr. Daly.
Councilman Long.
Here.
Councilman Jamelis.
Present.
Councilman Rodriguez. Dr. Carpenter.
Present.
President Redzak.
Present.
Councilman Sperling. Here. And Councilwoman Provenza.
Present.
We also have Mayor Recuperating, Solicitor Michelle Alexander, our engineer Matt Pish, and myself, Jason Daly.
At this time, we will have any additional agenda items to be added, with a note that there was an amendment to the Sunshine Act that now allows this. Are there any additional agenda items?
Yes, there was discussion in executive session with regard to Chief Dessel's contract, to add that to the agenda under item new business action items, which is number 9, subsection B. The motion to approve the chief of police employment agreement for the term of January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2025. 11, I'm sorry, not 9.
That's okay.
XIIX.
And can you restate the term of the contract?
Motion to approve chief of police employment agreement for the term of January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2025. Motion
2027.
Yeah. 2027.
I make that motion to put that on the agenda.
Just amending the agenda at this point.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Long to add this additional agenda item to section 11G. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilman Carpenter. Are all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
So for the members of the public, because of what's on the agenda, you would have an additional period of public comment, but because public comment is underneath where we just added it, you can comment at that time along with your general comments.
Very good, thank you. Section 5, registered comments from the public. At this time, council will hear comments on public related matters. Please approach the podium or raise your virtual hand, state your name and address, and please try and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Comments should focus on borough business, policies, or actions. Council also encourages thoughtful feedback on decisions and performance while maintaining a respectful and constructive dialogue.
With that being said, hi, my name is Rhoda Wharf, 636 3rd Street, Verona. I'm just questioning, we have recycling now with our waste management or with Noble. And I'm wondering, why do we continuously have, and it used to be called Abitibi. It's these huge metal containers that are on the side of the borough garages. They're unsightly. No one's picking them up. And other garbages besides paper and that are being tossed in there. My question is, can we do our homework and find out why they're still there? I was also told that that company's even out of business. So now, do we have the right to maybe get rid of it? Maybe recycle metal and actually get money for it? I don't know what we can do, but I really appreciate it because it looks terrible. And the cans, the aluminum cans, we're not taking care of the P's and Q's here. So, and it's very unsightly. So if we can maybe look into that, I'd appreciate it. I think that Tom would appreciate it. Okay, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Rhoda. I have a note that you would appreciate a reply regarding your comment.
It would be great. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public?
Susie Davis, Ridge Avenue. I want to thank you, Trish, for getting a hold of Eugene to take care of that sidewalk corner there with the plate lifting, the handicap plate lifting. He pointed, I said something to him, he said, we just did it, he says, so go over and check. I checked and it was good, and today I saw him, I told him another one. So he says he will get on it tomorrow, but thank you for getting on top of it, by the way. Because I worry about my children crossing there and getting hurt. The other residents of Verona. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. I just want to clarify that I did not personally direct EJ to repair that, but I did report it to our management who took care of that with EJ.
Okay.
So thank you for your feedback and Matt as well. Are there any other public comments? Very good. We'll move on to section 7, comments from advisory boards and commissions. Do you want to say anything about the civil service letter? Would you like to, or would you? I feel less informed, so either you or the chief,
Maybe the chief, if you'd like me to come on.
or Mary. Mary's here as well.
Mary's here.
Yeah.
What?
The recap letter.
I understand that. What do you want me to say? Just say what we did this year?
Would you like to? You can also say no, say anything in brief about the letter you submitted to council.
Well, we are in like the letter states, civil service has never been this active as it has been in 2025. With the hiring of as many wonderful new officers as we were able to do. We're also trying to revise some of the guidelines for civil service. We're looking at obtaining a different written test to be taken. And so we submitted a letter to you guys for approval outlining the changes that we would like to make to what the existing guidelines are as to what we would like the new guidelines to be. And I don't know if you want to go through each one of those now, if that's too much, what our reasoning is, or do it at a future date.
Mary?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what you said is perfect.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Mary, and thank you and your board for all of your service as well. We'll appreciate the extra effort this past year.
you're welcome.
No other comments from advisory boards or commissions. We'll move on to the next section. Section 8, reports. Council President's report. Before I make a short statement, I do want to announce that as written on the agenda for tonight, we did hold an executive session first immediately prior to this meeting from 6 to 7 p.m. regarding personnel matters, most notably our chief's contract. Also, last Thursday, January 8th, from 6 to 9 p.m., we held an executive session to review 3 borough manager candidates. I don't like to sit up there, so you'll find I'm going to stand down here sometimes. Last week, we took an oath of office. I do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. Every council member that has ever sat before you has taken the same oath. None of them for personal gain. As much as it is a privilege, it is also a sacrifice. Our community, as far as boroughs go, is relatively small. As of the 2020 census, our population was a little less than 2,500, and our area is about 0.6 square miles. Nevertheless, we are so rich with aspirations, dreams, endeavors. Every single one of us has them. However, more often than not, these do not match our budget. Each and every year, council is faced with difficult decisions that require a great deal of personal agony and strife. What is the greatest need of our community that we have been elected to serve right now? Is it public safety? Is it infrastructure? Is it keeping more money in our residents' and business owners' pockets? Or is it some combination? These decisions are never easy, and it can be very difficult to hear beyond the loudest voices in the room. And there is rarely a unified consensus on this on any number of issues that council will face. Usually, unbeknownst to the public, behind so many of these decisions is a myriad of thought, research, emails, information, possibly executive sessions, council meetings, training and resources from groups like the Local Government Academy, the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs, and many others. And rightfully so. Sometimes the stakes are really, really high. The personal costs as well, both time, emotional, and sometimes financial on council, can also be very high. The praise, the exception of Susie tonight, is very few and far between. But the criticism, I assure you, is always very, very high. So while our approaches as well as our specific priorities will vary dramatically, without question, at the end of the day, I believe that every single one of us wants what is best for Verona. I mean, does anyone disagree? Does anyone really want to see the demise of our borough? Some nights it might feel that way, but I don't believe that. So in our first business meeting of this year, I wanted to make the case with you here tonight for unity and to challenge all of us to start extending a little bit of grace to one another. Because I believe that when we extend a little grace, we best enable progress for the community that I know we all love. Now to my fellow counselors, I, like each one of you, meant every word of the oath that we took last week. But how do we do that? How do we exactly discharge the duties of our office with fidelity? I can tell you from my limited experience that there's no one career, no personal experience, no family situation that's going to make any one of us the perfect counselor. What would that mean anyway? No one's perfect. And it doesn't matter if you're a 6th generation Veronian or you was here last week, none of you have all the answers. But that's exactly my point, is we need each other. We need every single one of us and every single one of you. We have to start turning towards one another and not against one another. And before we speak, perhaps we can pause and ask ourselves honestly, is this from a place of, I care and I want to help my community? Or are we trying to keep score? Are we trying to make someone look bad out of spite? Is this truly the stuff that's going to drive our community forward? Because as a council, especially, that's where we need to be focused. Now, this doesn't mean not holding one another accountable, but that does mean being respectful and approaching one another with respect and giving each other the benefit of the doubt. We do have tools coming to improve efficiency, encourage productive communication and transparency. Next week, as most of you are aware, we'll be holding our first super committee meeting where we will draft our first ever council code of conduct. We will also have a special guest speaker who will talk about the super committee structure. Later this month, we will also be doing a DISC assessment, which is a tool designed to increase our collaboration and our productivity on behalf of the borough. Love Verona as we may, a common challenge is that we throw ourselves in wholeheartedly. Our priorities start to get jumbled. We grow frustrated at stalled progress. We start to forget why we even ran in the first place, and we start to lose ourselves. So we'll also be doing an exercise next week to identify all of our priorities that we'd like to see this council accomplish in the next year and see where we all align so we can best focus our efforts. My friends, let me also remind you that council is merely a pillar of who we are, but it nor any other one activity solely defines who we are as people. And the old adage is true. We cannot give from an empty cup. So please extend the same grace that you will extend to one another to yourselves as well. Be responsible, be kind, and always lean into the leader inside of you that our constituents elected us for, even if it might not be returned. I personally am so optimistic and proud to be standing alongside of this council. I'm also even more so humbled and honored to be the person selected to lead our new council. So thank you for putting your trust in me. Last but not least, to the community. I assure you that this council in front of you stands eager to serve you as your elected officials with integrity and with fidelity. But we ask again for your grace as we all continue to aspire for professionalism, positive change, as well as for excellence. Every single one of us here has the potential to help our community, but you know what else? Every single one of us has the potential to drag it down. We've seen too much of it lately. Without all of our cooperation and genuine support, energy will be wasted, people will drop off, and ultimately, it's Verona that is losing. While it's our goal as a council to move away from reactive governance and more towards proactivity, even in the best, most proactive, well-planned council, mistakes, I assure you, will happen. Sometimes things will look really messy because, spoiler alert, they are messy, but so is life. We are infallible, but we as a council will always strive to do our best with fidelity. We have a culture to change and our work is no doubt cut out. We are a very stressed out community. I think everyone here can agree. It's going to take effort on all of our parts to retrain our mindset. But there will never be a shortage of things that we want to work on, so long as our community continues to aspire for great things. We all stand to gain when we work together and support one another. Let's hold each other accountable, yes, but let's also remember to give one another grace, the benefit of the doubt, and always start at the onset by assuming good intentions. If we can do that, I can only imagine how Verona will continue to flourish in the next 154 and a half years. I look forward to writing that story with all of you here tonight. Thank you. Next, and I'm sure more exciting, is our mayor's report. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight we're gonna, I'm gonna read two letters of commendation. First letter is, from the chief for, their exceptional duties that they have done. Michael Santucci, he was back there and it's along with the chief, but apparently they got a call and they stormed off. On November 28th, 2025, 25th, Officer Michael Santucci investigated an attempted registration plate theft on 2nd Street. This was 2 doors up from my house on 2nd and Parker. His diligent follow-up led to a December 2nd arrest that uncovered a regional criminal network operating in Verona and beyond. Most officers would just take the report, but Officer Santucci went above and beyond. The intelligence he gathered has been instrumental in assisting other agencies with numerous arrests, earning him a letter of commendation from Chief Dessel for his exemplary dedication. And this actually was on the news about that, and they did mention Verona where it took place, along with other communities across the river. In the second one, the officer's not here, Jonathan Priest. On December 23rd, 2025, while patrolling School Street with a chief and Officer Jonathan Priest encountered 2 suspicious men. One man resisted arrest and attempted to pull a firearm during the struggle. Officer Priest quickly disarmed him, preventing any injuries to the officers or the suspect. The suspect was found to be a federal parolee from Florida with prior gun and drug charges. For his decisive action, Chief Dessel issued Officer Priest a formal letter of commendation. And this is why this one here, particularly on December 25th, could have turned bad if we didn't have 2 officers on. You know, we just had 1 officer on, and from what the chief told me, there was a struggle with our 2 officers and the gentleman that had the gun. And just imagine it could have turned worse. Thank God it didn't. And also, I would like to swear in a new officer, Charles Ciori. You want to come up and I'll swear you in? Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Charles Seward,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I will
or affirm that I will
support,
support,
obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and that I will discharge my duties
that I will discharge my duties
of my office with fidelity and honor.
of my office with fidelity and honor.
Congratulations. That's all I have at this time. Thank you and good luck to all the officers. We got a young team and the chief is very diligent about rebuilding our police department, which he has. And I want to thank him and thank the residents for supporting, not only this board, but the department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, please send a warm welcome to Officer Seori when you see him out and about. Next, section C, we have the Borough Manager's Report. Mr. Daly.
Thank you very much. I was asked to provide a update for the stamp program that my company had actually provided the initial overall report with steps 1 through 6, which steps 1 through 3 were the financial observations. Steps 4 was the operational assessment, and steps 5 and 6 had to do with prioritizing and implementing the recommendations that were provided. So I have to say it's not often that the consultant is also going to be able to watch the report that they wrote come to life. Right? So this was kind of an interesting presentation really to put together. So, and I will make this available online as well so that everyone can see. I tried to keep it relatively simple. So what I did was that I took all of the recommendations that were provided and summarized them. And also, so as we go through the slides, I highlighted the ones that are either significantly completed or completed right now. So under, when we first initiated this, we provided 5 priority goals, and they were that the borough would have a solid financial sustaining revenue base, that the borough would enhance its administrative and personnel management capacity. The goal 3 would be that the borough would enhance code enforcement and community development. The 4th goal was to upgrade technology in all departments. And then goal 5 was to prepare and adopt an annual capital improvement plan with funding strategies. Each one of those was a result really of, there was, I think there was something like 80 some odd recommendations that were provided throughout the entire report under each one of those goals. But what we did was that we prioritized those as the top 5. But what I did want to do was I wanted to review, what have we accomplished? What has the borough accomplished to date? So under goal 1, which really had an administrative and financial focus, the 3 items that are highlighted here are the items that have been completed or are underway with some significant progress. The first is that the borough continues to utilize outside accounting services. It's a very small office here. There's a full-time manager, there's a part-time administrative assistant, and the reason that the borough is able to stay so lean is because of the outsourced services of bookkeeping, and that provides another set of eyes, professional eyes, that helps the borough manage those finances, bill pay, payroll, all of those things. So that has continued. The reports are very good. They're strong, that council's provided and that the public's provided, and that you're able to review and to see what that service is producing. The next item on there is increasing the fees for the mechanical devices. The chief and I were actually reviewing those this month, and at next month's meeting, those are going to be recommended to increase from $750 per device up to $1,000 as was recommended. That will be taking place and recommended to the board, to council. And then the last item is in general reviewing fees for services. We went over the entire fee resolution this year, and that will be recommended for adoption at next month's meeting. But every fee that we currently have in place was reviewed, and there will be a recommendation for increasing the fees where it makes sense to do so. The next item had to do with improving administrative and management support for the borough and for the manager. This involved providing, budget monies for the manager to attend conferences and to get additional training. That was incorporated into the 2026 budget. Throughout 2025, the borough hired special labor counsel to assist with bargaining unit matters, which was beneficial in resolving several different issues, in 2025. So that was completed. We have contracted with an HR professional for evaluating different policies. That is both complete and remains underway. Then the last item was completing or contracting for a comprehensive employee manual. The HR professional assisted with this and continues to work with council on getting this ready for adoption, which I would expect over the next 30 to 60 days that should be ready for adoption by council. The next item involved a lot of land use items. These are evaluating the type of uses that the properties have, Main Street, evaluating the use, whether or not the borough should hire a Main Street manager that would help with the business district, putting together a blight committee. A lot of these items were prioritized as being, when we get a full-time manager, that they can start focusing on development and redevelopment blight items, that they will start working on this. The one item that we are actively working on, though, is it's the second to the last one. Oh, sorry about that. Second to the last one, which is the adoption of the updated International Property Maintenance Code. Our code enforcement officer is recommending that we be current with that current code. They've recommended this. We are actively looking at updating that, but right now that is not an active priority for us right now. The next item is where you see a lot of green here, that has been accomplished. And this really just occurred recently, mainly because of the fact that the grant was written. We received $113,000 to support all of these items here, which were really technology driven. The chief is chomping at the bit to get his record management software updated. He updated hardware to support that system in there, as well as all of these other items that we can see here. Hardware, so this is the computers that are in the police department. This is the vehicle outfits with updated technology, battery backups for the computers in the offices, building access control improvements, as well as updating some technology in here that will help to improve some of the audio and visual stressors that we experience in this small space here. So that grant was for $113,000. We've been told that we've been awarded this. We're in the process of hopefully getting some more confirmation that we can start spending the money. But that knocks out almost all of these items that we had on this particular recommendation list, which is really good. It's a low-hanging fruit. You have to spend the money in order to keep applying for that grant. The borough is eligible for $1 million as a result of this project. So all the items that you see that aren't in green are going to remain eligible for us to have funded as we progress through this program. So this is a really, good program for the borough to have participated in. The last couple items here, I would consider these, not necessarily low priority, but these are items that take time to complete. Putting together a pavement program, putting together, improvements to the parks, upgrading, technology and software for the borough manager to put together, a more robust capital improvement plan. We really wanted to focus on the items that we could, knock out quickly. We could spend the money quickly and then go back to the state and say, we've done everything that we said we were going to do. Now we're ready for another round of money. Here's our next application. So that's really where we're at right now with the program. The next step is to spend this money to get the technology implemented. I would say over the next 60 days, once we get the green light to spend the money, we have it in our bank account. The chief will be cut loose to start executing a lot of the contracts that he has to get in place. So we're right in where we should be with this. We got the grant notification. We've got the money committed for a lot of these items. The next step will be for us to be ready to put our next application in. Applications are due by June 1st of every year. So we'll want to have our next application ready to go for up to $200,000 to knock out more of these items that are in the recommendation. They have to be part of the report in order to be funded. And so we will be eligible though for another $200,000 in this next round. So are there any questions at all? Just wanted to give you guys all a really brief update because I know it's a topic of discussion for everybody and I wanted to pass that along.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. Super high level for people here tonight who have maybe never heard of the Strategic Management Planning Program. What is it? Why is there this report you're referencing and how does the grant process work?
So the next steps with this will be to prioritize beyond the technology. There are definitely still some technology items in here, like we had cameras at the parks to upgrade. In fact, the chief just did a survey of a lot of the cameras at the parks and we're having some issues with some of those. So we would use possibly some of those funds to make sure that we have those under control. But the next items are probably more related to some planning items. There was a map that was created on the back there by a company called Robotics that was initially contracted to identify what our road conditions were. And that was going to help guide the borough's future paving plan. That company's no longer in business. We would need a new study done in order to identify and to give us a baseline for the paving model. So that may be one that we would consider as part of the next round of funding for us to consider. But there's, you can do a lot with $200,000. We have a lot of low hanging fruit in here with technology. We also have some park improvements that we've outlined that could be made with that money as well.
So even more high level, how does your report connect to the grant process? Are only people in this program eligible for this grant? These grants?
It is, yeah. So this pot of money is considered, it's called STAMP, but it stands for Strategic Management, Strategic Management Plan. And it's a very limited funding source. You have to have gone through the study process and program and had these recommendations developed in order to be eligible for that pot of money. So only Verona Borough and communities that have gone through this program are eligible to apply for that money, which is great because our neighbors haven't gone through this program, so they can't even apply to that to get money. So it's a very limited group. So we're pretty fortunate to be able to participate in this. And we also, whenever we do apply, we only have a 10% match for the money that we apply for. So we apply for $200,000, we only have to put out $20,000 to get that money. So with this recent grant that we got for $113,000, we're only putting out $11,000 to pretty much upgrade the entire police department's technology infrastructure, which is a pretty good deal.
Other questions? Are we time limited? Obviously, we can have 5 phases.
Yeah, so this is all done through cycles and it's over 5 years, but you can go in for grant applications as many times as you can complete the projects. So as soon as we spend the 113, we can put in another application for up to $200,000. And once we spend that money, we go in for the next round. So it's a rolling cycle. It's always due by June 1st, but you can submit more than one application per year, provided that you get that initial money spent.
But with this information, the call to action for council is to review the recommendations and start to think about what we might want to apply for in phase 2, which is due in June.
Absolutely. I would say that so it's due in June, but we would want to get our applications in as soon as he can spend that money.
Thank you for giving the update and report. Did you want to mention anything about the borough manager search?
Oh, sure. Yep. So the borough conducted, we're in the process of looking for the full-time manager position right now. We had received 7 applications. We've limited the interviews down, well, we narrowed the interviews down to the top 3 candidates that the search committee, assisted with narrowing down. The full council interviewed all 3 of those candidates last Thursday. We have, we're continuing the process with one of the candidates right now, as we, further evaluate their availability to us as the next borough manager. So the process continues. We'll keep everybody posted on that, probably at the next month's meeting, as a possible action item. So we're excited about that.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Daly, would you mind also reading the code enforcement report?
Sure, and I forgot that, actually, I didn't list Public Works either on there this time, but we certainly included their report. And just to summarize some code enforcement activity, there were 28 new cases that were opened this month. And there were 38 inspections performed, 14 required follow-up inspections. There were 25 courtesy notices issued for violations, 14 were elevated to letters. There were 6 hearings before the district magistrate and 0 citations issued as far as the code enforcement goes. And for Public Works, they were relatively busy this month with snow removal, winter maintenance activities, but we also were able to continue to do some leaf collection. The vehicles had undergone some routine maintenance as a result of being used for winter maintenance. So we had some brake change outs, some inspection was performed on one of the vehicles. And let's see, we winterized, several pieces of equipment that are typically used for parks. There were over 200 bags of trash collected along Allegheny River Boulevard. There was some work that was performed for the chamber in retrieving pallets for the bonfire that was held. And I think that's enough for the report.
Very good, thank you. Next up, item E, we have the police chief's report. Chief Dessel.
All right. Closes my report for December of 2025.
Sorry, I turned the mic off.
Okay. And closes my report for December 2025. As you can see, we're up significantly call volume wise compared to 2024. And as far as the year is concerned, we're almost up 1,000 more calls than we were in 2024. I relate to you guys as well as the public. I plan on having a meeting on February 25th here in council chambers at 7 o'clock to do a year-end review of the police department, and we'll get into some of the nitty-gritty facts, figures, things like that. Some notable items is we did take possession of our first cruiser. Our next cruiser will be delivered on Monday. They just called me today. I'll do an inspection on it sometime this week. I'm not sure when yet. Also, 2 provisional full-time officers were made permanent. Santucci and Camp, as well as Charles Turing, who was just sworn in. The 2 other new full-time officers are progressing very well. I anticipate them to be on their own in February. So you should, if you haven't noticed already, you pretty much have at least 2 officers on shift. And that's going to be the norm. So going forward, I am, fingers crossed, knock on wood. 2 officers on shift. As Mr. Daly mentioned, yes, I'm chomping at the bit to get these cameras fixed and replaced and all the software. One thing I was able to do in the interim is our record management system. I was able to get it delivered sooner, so we're going to have that installed next week on station. And then newly, we're going to start having the software in our cruiser so we can do reports in the car and not on station. Also, note I've been trying to redo the SOP. It's been burdensome to say the least. So I'm just taking away that, getting the policy, we're doing it, and going for it. So another thing that we're doing a lot of training. It's free too. The next 3 months, everyone's going to something, no matter what it is. And we're even hosting a training in March to save costs. opening up the other departments, I think about 30 officers will be coming here, so we'll be doing that. And other than that, that's all I have. Oh, yes. Just today, I mentioned to Jason before when he got here, we were gonna start doing online payments for police reports and accident reports, and they can be sent electronically, so you don't have to come to the station at all. So I have my first one already. It's working out well. But other than that, that's all I have.
Questions for Chief Vessel? Thank you, Chief. Very good report. Item F, Fire Chief's report, Chief BNC.
Evening, council. My report was submitted to you guys, just to summarize that, the Roanoke Volunteer Fire Company answered a total of 13 calls in the month of December. We responded to 3 residential structure fires, 1 grease fire, 1 transformer fire, 1 extinguished fire, 1 commercial fire alarm, 2 vehicle accidents, 2 odor investigations, 1 power line down, and 1 power line up. Of those calls, 3 of those were in the borough of Verona, and mutual aid was provided for 8 calls in Penn Hills, 1 call in Oakmont, and 1 call in D1. At the close out of the year 2025, we answered a total of 103 calls.
Good job. Questions for Chief Teehee? Chief Teehee, do you have any fundraisers coming up?
We currently have one going on right now. The Verona Eagles is hosting their charity bingo, and we are the recipient for this month. So the next 2 Fridays, we will be at the Eagles. We have the bingo that they host, as well as the Chinese auction, a lottery raffle, and a 50-50. It's a good time, and if you want to go get there early, you'll spend free time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item G, up next, we have the EMS report with Lower Valley. Nice to see you here.
Good evening. In the month of December, we had a total of 43 EMS responses into the borough. 15 of those were treated and transported ALS. 12 were treated and transported BLS. 3 were fire standbys, 3 refusals, 4 lift assists, 2 cancellations, and 4 no transports or other. So we close out the year of 2025, there were a total of 544 EMS responses in borough. And it looks like July and October were 2 busiest months of the year. Which is never a rhyme or reasons to why we're busy 1 month and also busy next month.
Any questions on the EMS report?
We do have our capital fund drives going at this point in time,
Mhm.
so any support would be greatly appreciated.
Is that the mail campaign?
It is.
Great. And how's it going at Steel City? You're still parking there?
We dialed it back just during the day because we can't do an ambulance staying outside. This is all day long. So currently we dialed back the ambulance to being in Verona until we can find a better locations to where we can park the ambulance. But I don't want the fluid and everything of that nature staying outside the freezing cold.
Right.
What you're saying.
Thank you. Next, item H, we have the solicitor's report, Mr. Alexander.
Thank you, President. I did submit a written report. I don't have anything to add to the report. I do have one to put attention to you. You had mentioned the super committee meeting that's coming up next Tuesday. Chief Dessel had talked with me about revamping and redoing some of the ordinances within the borough. The first one that's on the plate is parking ordinance, raising the fees for parking violations. Chief Thomas sent me the new fines that he would like to have installed in the ordinance. I will have a copy of that draft ordinance for council to consider at the first super committee meeting. Excuse me, that's all I have to report, unless anybody has any questions.
Number 2 in your report.
The use of telecommunications devices?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry? Yes, the question has come up as to whether there were some glitches on the Zoom last month. And it's come up over the last couple of years, several years, as to whether if there's glitches on the Zoom, does that require the meeting to stop? Just the public on the television can't participate in some form or another. The answer to that question is no. Our meetings are advertised as in-person meetings. The Zoom is a benefit to the community that not many other communities do. In fact, none of my other communities that I represent do that. So it's a great benefit for those that can't attend in person. But the in-person meeting is the official meeting, and as long as no technical difficulties in here, then you've met your requirements. So meet your question, Nancy?
Yeah, I think so. I just want to make sure that people knew that we don't advertise our meetings as Zoom only.
We advertise our meetings as in-person meetings. And the Zoom option is just that, an option that's a benefit to the community. We do not, as you indicate, we don't offer Zoom only meetings. If they were Zoom only meetings, then the technical difficulty on those meetings may invalidate the meeting, or at least require it to be stopped.
If I may, the Zoom only option was eliminated by the State General Assembly, correct? As that was only a provision was done through the COVID years, and
That is
then
correct.
was eliminated, right?
It was written into the act. As
Right.
soon as the emergency declaration, COVID declaration, the governor's COVID declaration ended,
Right.
so did the
Zoom.
ability to do Zoom only meetings.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Alexander? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next up, item I, we have the engineer's report with Mr. Finch.
Thank you. First update, if everyone saw the work along ARB today and going into the evening, that was the work that I had mentioned that Penn Hills was going to be completing as part of the Elgisan consent order. That work was only for today, so I'd imagine by now they're pretty much cleaned up there. So our sewer project does have some additional work along Center Avenue tomorrow, which the contractor worked with the chief. We have some no parking. There will be some temporary closures between Renat and Heron on Center Avenue tomorrow. And that is for our sewer work. The reason why the closure of Center along the ARB there today, the sewer line crosses Allegheny River Boulevard. They have to bypass the pump. So on the upstream manhole, they have to pump out of that manhole and have a hose laid on the ground to pump around their work zone. And with the way that the sewer line crosses Allegheny River Boulevard, they couldn't shut down Allegheny River Boulevard. So the next closest manhole was in front of Napa. So they had to lay the hose out. They didn't get any buses through or emergency vehicles. It was just the hose can't be run over repetitively. Like a couple times a day was okay, but they couldn't leave it open for traffic. An update on the paving last month. I briefly talked about that. Jason and I worked with the contractor. We do have in writing stating the intent and what they will be completing in the spring. So any of the work that is down now, they will be redoing that to get it to a fresh surface and then completing the paving. This comes at no additional cost to the borough, and we haven't paid them anything for that work yet until it's completed. We did complete a walkthrough on December 17th to review the multimodal grant. We're underway of completing the revised plans for that. Once those are completed, I'll provide those to all the council, and the plan right now is to have that project bid in March. As it was announced, the borough was successful in receiving the LSA grant for the North Avenue reconstruction. Right now, what we're doing is putting a preliminary plan together for review and discussion. There was some discussion of possibly raised crosswalks, maybe some stamped asphalt to resemble some brick. So we'll get some preliminary plans just so there's visuals put together and we'll review that before getting specs. And then the scoping form for the Green Light Go, for the signal, at ARB in the plaza, that was submitted to PennDOT. It's under review. Once they give us the thumbs up, we'll submit the full application to PennDOT. That's for, controller upgrades, signal head upgrades, and a preemptive system for emergency vehicles. I also wanted to note, it was not on my report, Jason worked with the county. We did receive a stipend grant from Allegheny County. It's for $25,000 and it had to be used for some type of storm infrastructure. So we've had the issue with the two inlets on Allegheny River Boulevard near Jones Street, causing flooding and backing up. So we're working on a plan. The $25,000 is not quite enough to cover the project, so we're working with contractors. The borough is going to purchase the material and then pay for the installation through the grant thing. So that will install some new piping and some new inlets to take care of that ponding.
Thank you.
And just to touch on what Jason had said about the road rating, I actually have an updated quote from the company that does it now. So I will get that over to you first thing tomorrow. And that's all I have.
Did you want to say anything about, is it the 24 LSA?
For the North Avenue, what about it?
Remind me when we're expecting paving for that.
Or for the multi-mode?
No, the LSA, forgot that.
So we just got the contracts, so they're 2-year contracts, so if we move fast enough on deciding the design, it could possibly be a late summer project. If we want to take our time and lock down, possibly stamped asphalt and everything, we would have it out for bid during winter, and it would be an early 27 project then.
And what upcoming grants might you need council input for?
Right now, the DCED Act 13 programs, which would be the PA Small Water and Sewers and the Greenways Trails.
Yeah.
If they stay on schedule, those will open in April. But they've been anything but consistently. So as I get updates on those, I will let council know. Primarily, those are going to be focused on anything storm or sanitary related for the PA Small Water and Sewer, and the Greenways Trails is going to be parks and trails related.
Okay, thank you. So council, please note those for our discussion next week. Other questions for Mr. Fitch?
Yeah, I have one, on Arch Street.
Yes.
They were in the process of quickly trying to get that ready for winter and put in that big asphalt, or what's it called? I don't know. That black stuff that's not asphalt.
They were just putting the binder in, and they did not finish before the weather, so
Correct.
down by your end of the road, it's just saw cut still. They haven't they haven't repaired the trench for the water line.
Do you know, is it their intention to leave that machine there for the entire winter?
That I don't, I'll follow up with the water authority. I believe that is their contractors and not the authority's machine.
It is the contractors, and I don't remember the name of the contractors, but there's like machinery scattered hither and around there. I think
I'll follow up with Oakmont,
Yeah.
at least see if they can't mobilize it to a more centralized location.
That'd be great.
Good.
That's all, I wanted to ask about number 6. Act 152 demolitions, 2023, borough is receiving 20,000, is that something current or is that past?
No, we have that. We're just waiting on the asbestos surveys from the county before we can advertise that.
Okay,
So that should happen within the next month or two. They're starting to come out of the county.
yeah, and with these demolitions, are we making sure that the extermination is happening ahead of the demolition?
Correct. It's in our specs that the demolition contractor is responsible to hire the exterminator.
Okay, so hopefully they're following your specs.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I have one more on number 14 on the 2025 multimodal DCED for Jones Street.
Yeah.
So I guess the DCED is extended, says their waiver of being 30% local match, which means that basically we can get it for 100%. Right?
Correct. that's how it's applied.
How long is that for? Is like would that be, is there a limit to that or?
So
would that be?
initially that the waiver of the 30% match was supposed to run out, I believe, in 2023. But they extended that waiver to the 2025 grant. So it's not a period that we have to apply or you miss it. It was for that cycle of grants. So the fact that we got an application submitted, we qualified for the waiver.
That's good. Hopefully we can get it. That would be a wonderful thing if we can fix that portion of Corona. That would be, I think.
Absolutely. It's also an access corridor. Other questions for Mr. Pitch? Okay, thank you for your report. Next, we have item J, council member remarks. Seeing that there is nothing listed under the agenda under any council members for the efficiency of this meeting, I just want to ask, is there anything broadly that anyone wishes to share at this time?
I'll just share a couple things real quick. I wanted to bring back up the alley names, because I've been getting some more feedback from people in the community. Sorry, that might live on one of those alleys. And they have to call 911. They can tell them their address, but the ambulance maybe is driving around wondering where this road is. I wonder if we could elevate that to a little higher priority and start the project. It's probably gonna be a little complicated because we have to get poles and signs and, you know, figure out all the names, where to put the poles. I understand all that, but it's starting to be more of a public safety issue that I'd like to see get resolved. So that was one thing, and then I just wanted to mention that we did get 2 good applications for junior council from Riverview. They are both from Verona. And I will be following up with them and doing some basic interviews and working with Jason on how all that should occur. I don't really know the process. I just know there's an initial thing that I'm gonna do to move that along. Hopefully they'll be here by February.
Thank you for bringing that up. As far as your first item, will you remember to mention that during next week's exercise?
Okay, I'll try.
That's a good example of the types of things we want to try and capture next week. So things like that on your mind or that the community may mention to you between now and then, please capture those. The next item, junior councilman program. This is a new program. As a reminder, we want to support our Riverview students. Some of them are here tonight. But you go ahead and invite me to a meeting next week as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any other comments from council members?
Yes, Trish, I just wanted to, Parks and Rec had a meeting last night and the president and the treasurer are still up until next month. They're gonna pick next month, those 2 positions, but Mike Knuckles is the vice president and Brian Duncan is the secretary. And I would also like to encourage that our newly elected officials attend the local government academy, newly elected officials course. It is very insightful.
Thank you, Tim, for bringing those up. First, I want to say congratulations to Mike Knuckles and to Brian Duncan, and thank you to all of the Parks and Rec board members and all of our board members and alternates for your service. Second, Kelly or Curtis, did you want to say anything about the training that you will both be attending this month?
We will be attending training on the 23rd and the 24th.
With the SAB, right? Yeah.
Perfect. We look forward to hearing more about what you both learned there. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to section K, reports of special committees. Item 1, Allegheny League of Municipalities, ALOM. Sylvia Prevenda.
Thanks, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. The date now for the Spring Educational Conference is going to be April 9th through the 12th. And I spoke with them and they said that the cutoff date for that is going to be Friday, March the 20th. So if you have an interest to attend that, it's a wonderful training. You learn an awful lot there. You do need to get your registration in. It's Friday, March the 20th. And I did want to mention very quickly, a thank you out to Vince Flota and Tim Long for serving on council. Thank you for your service and for serving. And I would like to welcome Kelly Rodriguez and Kurt Sperling. We welcome both of you and we look forward to working with you folks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, and thank you to Ray Suchovich, outgoing council member, for his service as well.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, thank you too.
Yes, no problem.
Always, yes, thank you.
And to everyone for your continued service. Item number 2, Council of Governments COG. It's come to my attention that we have not selected a new COG representative. We had discussed perhaps we could have one person who regularly attends and then a rotation so that everyone could still have exposure to the different municipalities and the different types of offerings that the COG has. Is anyone interested in this at this time? It's one meeting a month.
I'd be willing to do that.
Thank you.
I think they're on the fourth Wednesday of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fourth Wednesday, so that would put
At
us at
6:30.
28th.
Yeah.
Those are at the Springfield Township Municipal Building.
Thank you.
Thank you. If anyone else is interested in attending either on the 28th or periodically, please just let us know. Next, we have item 9, old business. There is none, so moving on to item 10, ordinary items. Item A. Council members have received the minutes from November 11th, 17th, 25th, and December 9th. Has everyone had time to review them? At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes from those dates.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from November 11th, 17th, 25th, and December 9th of 2025.
First by Councilwoman Carpenter, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Provenza, all in favor? Aye. We hear you. Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Item B. I will entertain a motion to accept the bills from December of 2025.
Make a motion to accept the bill from December of 2025.
Motion by Councilwoman Carpenter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Provenza. Are we all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, section 11, new business and action items. Item A. The Abridged Personnel Committee, along with Chief Dessel, have interviewed and recommends for hire Anthony Greco for the position of part-time officer.
I'll make the motion to accept the hiring of Anthony Greco to the council.
We have a motion to hire Anthony Greco by Councilwoman Provenza. Do I have a second?
I will second the motion to approve the hiring of Anthony Greco as a part-time patrolman. Borough.
We have a second by Councilman Gamillis. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion passes. Welcome to Officer Greco. Item B, the borough is in receipt of resignations from part-time patrol officers James Court and Thomas Carnahan, who have not worked for the borough. Their resignations have been provided to council. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept their resignations.
I'll make the motion to accept the resignation of Officer James Core and Officer Thomas Carnahan, effective 1/13/2026.
I'll second that.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilman Gamillis and a second by Councilwoman Carpenter. All in favor? Aye.
I abstain.
Are there any opposed? Due to the abstention, we'll go ahead and do a roll call. Councilman Long,
I abstain.
Councilwoman Provenza,
I do not abstain, yes.
You're a yes. Councilman Sperling?
Yes.
I am a yes. Councilwoman Carpenter?
Yes.
Councilwoman
Yes.
Rodriguez? Councilman Reynolds?
Yes.
Motion carries 6 with 1 abstention.
Can we please be sent their resignations? Because I didn't know these people or that they were resigning.
I'm sorry, can you restate that?
Yes, can we please get their resignation letters emailed to us as council members? Because I didn't know these people or that they were resigning.
Both resignation letters were included in the packet, both electronically and printed. Next, we have C, motion to approve memo of understanding for wage increases for the police department.
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU for wage increases for the police department.
I'm sorry, I didn't read the paragraph.
Okay.
So let me do that. Council has approved the 2026 budget with a planned hourly rate increase to $31 per hour for full-time patrol officers and an increase to $26.50 for part-time patrol officers. Due to this being above the contractual rates, at this time, I will now entertain a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding for these rate increases.
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU increasing full-time patrolman rates to $31 an hour and part-time patrolman rate to $26.50 per hour, effective retroactively to January 1st of 2026.
Thank you. I have a motion from Councilwoman Carpenter. Is there a second?
I will second the motion.
Thank you. We have a second from Councilman Gammellis. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Councilman Long, I couldn't hear your vote. Councilman Long, can you hear us?
I said opposed.
You are opposed to the memorandum of understanding to increase
Yeah.
our wages?
Yes, I was opposed to the budget and I'm opposed to this.
Okay, at this time, we will do roll call. So confirming, Councilman Long, you are a no?
No.
Okay, Councilwoman Provenza?
Yes.
Councilman Sperling?
Yes.
I am a yes. Councilwoman Carpenter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilman Gammellis?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-1. Next, you will recall we have added item 11D. Council has been provided with a copy of the Chief of Police Employment Agreement for our Chief Dessel. This agreement will be made retroactive from
January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2027.
There it is. At this time, I will entertain a motion for the Chief of Police Employment Agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve the Chief Dessel Employment Agreement that will run from January 1st of 2026 to December 31st of 2027.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Carpenter, a second by Councilwoman Provenza. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries 7-1. 7-0. Thank you. Next, we have section 12 announcements. Before we go to Ms. Provenza, Mayor, would you like to add anything about your mayor's meeting?
Yes, I forgot to bring it up. On January 8th, last Thursday, while you were interviewing the candidates for borough manager, Alon, they do their quarterly meeting with the mayors. And I offered to host it here in Verona. There were 17 mayors from throughout the area. And I treated them to Del Cella's Pizza. I ordered 3 large pizzas and there was only 10 pieces left. And that went to the police department. And they really liked that. That place has been around since 1958, I believe. And it was something different. It was nice. It was very informational. And up at Seven Springs, they are gonna include now a meeting for mayors only at Seven Springs. So that'll be nice. But I just wanted to bring that up. There were 17 mayors throughout the Allegheny County here that, you know, we had that I offered to host. Just wanted to bring that up.
That's wonderful.
And they did visit the history room. Thank Rhoda and Dawn for opening it up.
Good showing, David.
Very good showing.
Good.
That's all.
Thank you. And then please go ahead, Mr. Mezza.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. Newsletter, we're currently working on our spring edition now, and that's going to cover March, April, and May. And we are waiting for articles, and ads are going to be due on Sunday, February the 1st. So if you can get your ads in, get your articles in, that would be great. For articles, we can contact Dawn Ward, and he's in the audience here this evening. And he can be reached at 412-828-3607 or at veronanewsroom@gmail.com. And I can be reached for ads at 412-828-7726. Chamber of Commerce. We have a change now in Chamber of Commerce dates. The meetings will be now on the 4th Tuesday, which is going to be January 27th for the first meeting of the year. That'll be at 7 o'clock here in the Borough Building. And you can also follow us on Facebook, the Chamber of Commerce. Wingborough Ministries, the next community dinner will be held on Wednesday, January the 28th. And it will be at the Verona Methodist Church from 4:30 to 6:30. And it will be sponsored by the Old Pond Elves. Historical Society, the meeting this month will be held on Thursday, January the 15th. Here in the Borough Building, and it will be a movie. The movie's entitled A Cemetery Special. That should be interesting. And it's a WQED production, and it'll be narrated by Rick Seaback, and all are always welcome. They're always great meetings. And anyone, is there any questions or comments? If not, I thank you. That concludes my reports.
Thank you, Ms. Provenza.
You are welcome.
Before we go to item 13, comments from the public, I just want to remind everyone that our next meeting will be next Tuesday, the 20th, starting at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. So please mark the calendars. It's also come to our attention that we have at least 2 high school students in the audience. We want to invite either or both of you perhaps to come up and they don't want to come up. Are you here for a class? Yeah.
Civics class.
I figured. Awesome. Well, great to see you out. Thank you so much for coming.
Do you need something signed at the end of the meeting?
Yes, I will.
Councilman Jamelis. Okay.
Thank you. Just supposed to wait till the end.
John?
She planned to sneak it out earlier.
All right, with that, we are on to item 13, comments again from the public. At this time, council will hear comments on public related matters. Please approach the podium or raise your virtual hand, state your name and address, and try and limit your remarks to 3 minutes or less. Comments should focus on borough business, policies, or actions. Council encourages thoughtful feedback on decisions and performance while maintaining a respectful and constructive dialogue.
Can I just interrupt real fast?
You may make a comment.
No, concerning this with the
Judy, the people on Zoom cannot hear you unless you stand by that mic. Thank you.
it concerns this, the chamber meeting.
Yes.
If you moved it to the fourth Tuesday
Yes.
at 7,
Yes.
but if you go to the back page.
Yeah, it needs to be corrected.
Okay,
It was an oversight.
okay, thank you. That's my question.
Thank you, Judy. Good evening, Angela Aquapini, 521 Center Avenue. I just want to make a brief announcement. Our Verona Garden Club has a new board this year. I will be acting president. Verona Wharf will be the vice president. Dr. Nancy Carpenter is our treasurer, our beloved treasurer, and Sandy Esch will be our secretary. Our new meetings will be the third Monday of each month, with the next one coming up on January 19th at 7 p.m. here in the council. And I wanted to thank the borough for adding us to the calendar for that. And we do welcome everybody to attend.
You are doing the flyer walk again?
I believe so. Not for discussion, but I believe so. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Angela. Thank you for filling that role too.
Yes.
Are there any other public comments? Very good. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Councilwoman Pimenta. Is there a second?
I'm sorry.
Second by Councilman Dennis. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Coming out.